If I probably would have got the vaccine, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. I know that's how I contracted COVID, was definitely the birthday parties. He just started asking me like all these permanent questions, like I wasn't going to make it. I didn't know what was gonna happen next. I was just really scared. Oh man, is it too late to get the vaccine now? When I was in the hospital, I found out that I was pregnant. It was really hard on my body, and I had to make a really hard decision.
I'm Morgana. I'm a humanitarian photographer and filmmaker, and this is my husband Jaco. He's a helicopter pilot. In 2014, we were living in Liberia, West Africa, when the world's largest Ebola outbreak erupted. I helped PCI Media share Ebola survivor stories through radio, TV, and social media, reaching nearly 10 million people. It helped curb the spread of the virus by driving changes in attitudes and behaviors. I saw the impact the storytelling had on communities in the middle of the outbreak. So when COVID-19 started spreading where we lived in 2020, we began documenting and sharing stories of COVID-19 survivors in New York to spread awareness about the disease. But we decided that wasn't enough. We wanted to show how COVID-19 is impacting people across America. So we moved out of our New York apartment and we moved into a 19-foot trailer so we could document COVID-19 survivors in all 50 states in America. We woke up today in a beautiful valley below a glacier in Alaska. Now we're headed back to Anchorage to interview Katarina, who we briefly met yesterday on the phone before we lost reception.
I wasn't vaccinated, so that's probably why I had a severe case. Like, I just have had a whole bunch of different symptoms that are so unexplainable ever since I've gotten out of the hospital. Like, I've had pressure behind my eyes, I've had tremors like in my hands and my legs, but mostly, mainly for me, is my heart rate and having a hard time breathing. While the doctors don't know what's happening and they don't have no explanation for me, there's nothing that they can measure it, they can't take a picture, like they can't do any of that to diagnose me. When I went to my heart doctor, it was really disappointing, I guess. He doesn't know how to treat me. He just ran some more tests, and I'll be wearing this heart monitor until the 22nd so they can see what's happening. So yeah, that's basically just an overview of what's been happening with me personally. No, I don't have anybody, but I know that there's other people out there, and I feel like the more that it's known about, maybe something will change.
When we got to Anchorage, we had to give back the van, but a new friend loaned us his vintage Suburban, so we swapped vehicles and then headed over to meet Katarina.
So the thing doesn't beep when you...
No, it does not. You'll see the steering wheel thing. It's like... I've always wondered on the movies, like, why are people doing this while they're driving in a straight line? Now I know.
So right after I had my son, I ended up getting pneumonia. And now that I have had a COVID positive test and know what COVID is, I think that I had COVID then, but we didn't have the COVID testing here yet in Alaska. So I was basically just healing this whole time and waiting until I felt normal enough, and my doctor kind of cleared me, I guess, to get the vaccine. And then I was just watching the news and listening to everything and getting scared all over again because I kept hearing about all these people getting the vaccine or having bad reactions, and didn't want to get it until I felt like my lungs were all the way healed and I could breathe again. So I waited and waited, and time just went by, and I didn't get a chance to get the vaccine. If I probably would have got the vaccine, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now, which is really hard for me, especially with all my kids. The Anchorage was locked down for a long time, but then once it started opening up and people were going out and moving around, I just got a little easy on like the lockdown for myself and my family. My daughters, their birthdays are like a week apart, so we did their birthday parties.
Happy birthday to you! And many more! Happy birthday to you!
And we kept it pretty small, but still, I know that's how I contracted COVID, was definitely the birthday parties. I wish I would have never do their birthday parties, but after that day, that's when everybody started symptoming. We had a runny nose, cough. They were fevering at like 104, 103 for like a week. And then I started to get really, really sick. I can't breathe, I don't feel good. Like I started having all the common symptoms of COVID. Right across the street was a Providence urgent care. I went in and I tested, and then she came back in the room and I just knew that it was positive, and then I started breaking down crying because I was scared. After I got that positive test, I had to go get all them tested, and everybody tested positive. And from that day forward, everything just tanked for me. My oxygen started dipping. My mucus was so thick, like I couldn't breathe. I was having like hot flashes. There was mornings I'd just lay in bed and wake up and I'd think that I was normal, but once I sat up, I like the head colds, the headaches, it would all just start all over again. My head would start hurting and the room would be spinning, and then I would start losing my oxygen. I went to the ER like 4 different times before they finally admitted me because my SATs were really low. They brought me right in the back and I got hooked up to an IV, and they gave me oxygen in my nose and oxygen over my mouth. And from there it was just a whole week of scariness. The COVID doctor came in every day. He started asking me like, do I have a will? Do I have somebody who's with my kids? He just started asking me like all these permanent questions, like I wasn't going to make it. He started telling me if I didn't start improving overnight that I was gonna be intubated. When he started saying all that, I got really scared. I didn't know what was gonna happen next. I was just really scared. It was really scary and really traumatizing. At that point, I was like, in my mind, like begging and for the vaccine, like, oh man, is it too late to get the vaccine now? I did ask the doctor that, and she said, yeah, it was too late to get the vaccine. It wouldn't do anything for me. After he told me all that and he left, I just prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed, like, please let me get better before the morning. Like, that night was a night that I actually started high flow, and they just watched me all night. And So the next morning came and my oxygen went up a little more. And the doctor ended up coming back around like 1 or noon. And he said, wow, you really improved. And then I was just like, oh, thank the Lord. Like, because after he left, I called everybody I could and was asking everybody to pray for me and asking people that they know to pray for me. And because I believe in the power of prayer. And I got to where they didn't have to intubate me the next morning. So as the time went on through the week, I was able to move a little bit more. My oxygen went back up. I was able to use the bathroom. And still, it wasn't really even by myself because the nurse had to help me. I've never been so fatigued in my life. Even if I worked a double shift or something, it wasn't even compared to that tired. When I was in the hospital, I found out that I was pregnant. It was really hard on my body, and I had to make a really hard decision if I wanted to keep the baby and possibly it end up harming my body. All my symptoms were like increased times like 1,000,000. And so I kept going back to my doctor and they're like, it's up to you what you want to do, but your body just isn't strong enough to hold the pregnancy, I guess. And so I was just thinking about that, like, man, I need to be here for my kids that I already have. And so I ended up getting an abortion. When I went to get it done, they couldn't even give me anything because they knew about my COVID and my hospitalization and everything. No pain medicine, so that was like a procedure I'll never forget in my life. It was so painful. But after I got it done, my heart rate did go down and all my other symptoms kind of cleared up a little more because my body wasn't having to work as hard. So in the end, it was I guess a good thing for me and my body, but it was also a hard decision to make at that time. Everybody else that I know is out living their best life, partying like there's no pandemic going on. It kind of frustrates me a little bit, I guess. And I'm not mad or anything, but it's just like disappointing. Like a lot of people just don't believe in it, I guess. I don't know. They think that it's just a regular flu, and that's kind of frustrates me too, because I wish it was just a regular flu type thing. For some people it is, but for me that wasn't my case, and still isn't my case. I don't know flu that lasts, I'm almost going on 3 months now, with new symptoms coming and going, and it's like it just stole the quality of my whole life. I don't do anything that I used to besides take care of my kids, and that's all I can do. That's all I have the energy for. Hey kids, you can come have your vitamin D now. Here. Isaiah.
This is our last thing.
Where's your brother?
Mom. This is our last thing. Shut this. Hold on.
Once I start going upstairs, my heart rate just shoots over 110, like I'm running a marathon. Or if I have long conversations with my kids, I could feel like I'm starting to have a hard time breathing. And sometimes I'm too tired to talk because I know I'm gonna be out of breath. I always have chest pains. I always have the fatigue. I always have headaches. So I just had to adjust my life a lot to deal with all the symptoms that I'm having. I have a chair in my kitchen now, so I can sit down in the kitchen longer, which is amazing because like I can't stand very long or walk very long. Like if I go to the Target or something, I have actually a scooter on the back of my truck that I have to have my oldest two take off the back, and I use that to go around the store. Like keep my bed down here and I go upstairs. Like now I'm trying to make it to go take a shower at least twice a week. So I kind of pick my battles every day, like, hey, what do I really want to get done today? Like, do I really want to take a shower today, or do I want to be able to cook? So of course I always choose to cook dinner every day. But the days that I do shower, we just have something easy. But it's definitely been not very easy. I'm just normalizing it, I guess. Like it's my new me for now. But every day is better than yesterday. I really didn't want them to go to school this year again, but with me being sick and having no energy, I knew they weren't gonna get the quality like they did when they stayed home with me before. I sent them to school, and I'm just praying that the antibodies that they have is going to protect them. And every morning they go to school, I give them a kiss and pray over them, and they go to school. But every day I'm scared that they're gonna possibly bring it home, and so it's definitely been scary with them going back to school. And that's basically the only place that they go is to school, and they come home. I'm gonna have huge bills from when I was going to the ER all those times. If you're dying, you gotta make a decision whether to live or have this huge hospital bill, which sounds really crazy to me, and I couldn't believe that, but I still kept going to the ER, and they can't refuse me service. So I'm gonna have thousands and thousands of dollars in hospital ER visit bills and everywhere else I can't get a referral to. That's something later on down the road that I'm gonna obviously have to deal with, but right now to even start a payment plan is not possible. Like I haven't been able to go back to work. I can't even try to go to work if I wanted to because I can't stand long, I can't walk long. I'm supposed to be like on a lightweight bed rest, but still moving around a little bit to get my oxygen, my blood going, and I don't get unemployment because right now you have to have certain criteria to qualify, and I've contacted the unemployment office so many times. Like I just at this point I gave up, but I'm very thankful that for everything that we have right now, and for my family, friends that I have. They help me a lot. If I didn't have them to help me, I would be way worse off. And I'm not even in a bad situation right now, especially with having 6 kids. So as long as there's food on the table and the kids got everything they need, and they go to school every day, and we have a roof over our head, I'm so thankful for just that, all that.
Man, what a story. She's going through a lot. I don't really have any words. There's a lot she's going through. When she said she found out that she was pregnant when she went to the hospital, and she had to make a very difficult choice because according to the doctors, her body wasn't strong enough for the pregnancy. She had to make the tough decision to have an abortion. That's got to be so hard especially having so many kids, right? Like knowing what it's like to give birth and having children and loving them, and now you have to make this difficult decision. And for her being so desperate to take the vaccine, but she couldn't. And she's been wanting to take the vaccine, but she was afraid of taking it and what a reaction might be. And some were saying take it, and some were saying don't take it. She was worried and scared. I think that's such a strong message for people who might be on the fence about the vaccine. The COVID-19 vaccine has become deeply political and polarizing, dividing friends and family. But it's important to listen to each other and understand where people are coming from, different perspectives. It's not always black and white. One thing is for sure, there's still a lot we don't know about COVID, including exactly how it impacts pregnancy.
The whisper of the wind calling us to something more. What if we set out upon the waters, sail till we lose sight of shore? The light and the wilderness, we were made for all of this. You alone, my confidence, ready for it all. This is who we are. This is where it starts.
For the longest, doctors have been telling me, it's not gonna happen, it's not gonna happen, it's not gonna happen.
I took this pregnancy test and it was the faintest little positive.
The pregnancy went normal up until about the end of month 5.
But that's when I started to really recognize that there was something really wrong with my body.
And they're like, you have COVID.
I woke up and I was bleeding as if it was a period. And then I started having contractions. And I was 23 weeks.
But while they were prepping me for the C-section, they were putting me on the ventilator. Like everything had went downhill from there. Like I was going into respiratory failure, my kidneys were shutting down, and I was going into cardiac arrest.
I also don't know if my daughter's alive at this point.